What's up, guys? We're back with another one, and this time I'm going to be breaking down UFC 300. It goes down April 13th, live from Las Vegas, Nevada at the T-Mobile Arena. The entire card is stacked from top to bottom. It's going to be one of the greatest cards ever assembled. There's 12 fighters that were former champions. It's a card that I've been looking forward to, and I cannot wait until Saturday night. All right, so for this portion, you guys, I'm gonna go through the early prelims and the prelims. I'm just gonna give you guys my thoughts on who I think is gonna win because the entire card is so stacked, and then I'll go more into depth and detail on the main card. The early prelims on UFC Fight Pass starts at 3 p.m. Pacific time, 6 o'clock Eastern time. Both former champions. We have Deiveson Figueroa and Cody Garbrandt kicking off UFC 300. Figgy is a minus 340 favorite, and Cody is a plus 270 underdog. They're both so well-rounded. I'm going with Cody Garbrandt to get the job done on this one. All right, the next fight of the night, we have a lightweight bout. Number 14, Bobby Green against Jim Miller. Man, Jim Miller, he fought on UFC 100, 200, and now here he is fighting on UFC 300. Such a pioneer and veteran of the game. But we have Bobby Green at a minus 205 favorite and Jim Miller at a plus 170 underdog. Man, this is a tough fight, but I'm going with Bobby Green to get the job done. All right, the next fight is in the women's strawweight division. Number 4, Jessica Andrade against Marina Rodriguez, who's ranked number 6. This is kind of a pick'em fight. They're both minus 110. I'm leaning towards Rodriguez. I think she's overall more well-rounded, the better striker. I think Rodriguez gets the job done. The next fight, it's a lightweight bout. Number 10, Jalen Turner. He's fighting number 13, Renato Moicano. This is going to be an intriguing matchup, but I'm going with Jalen Turner to get his hand raised. Next up, we have the prelim card. It starts at 5 p.m. Pacific time, 8 o'clock on the East Coast. It's on ESPN and ESPN Plus. So kicking off the prelims, this is a featherweight bout. So I'm looking forward to it because, of course, it's in my weight class. We have number 13, Sadiq Youssef fighting Diego Lopez. Youssef is a plus 136 underdog, whereas Lopez, they have him at a minus 162 favorite. They're both phenomenal jiu-jitsu practitioners. I think Youssef has a little more power on his side. I think Sadiq Youssef gets his hand raised. All right, in the next bout of the night, it's in the women's bantamweight division. We have former champion, ranked number 5, Holly Holm. She's taking on Kayla Harrison, who's making her debut in the UFC and at bantamweight. So this is a fight I think a lot of people are looking forward to. Harrison is a former champion in the PFL, and I think she only has one loss in her career. This is a tough fight to pick because of how well-rounded Kayla Harrison is, but Holly Holm is a legend in the sport, so I'm going with the former champion. I think Holly Holm gets her hand raised. All right, the next fight I'm really looking forward to. I fought one of the guys. It's in my weight class. It's number 8, Calvin Kattar against former bantamweight champion Aljamain Sterling. This is a pick'em fight. You know, it's a coin flip. If Aljo goes out there, executes his takedowns, he wins. If Kattar stuffs the takedowns and turns it into a striking match, he wins. If I had to bet, I'm going with Calvin Kattar to win. And headlining the prelims in a light heavyweight bout is number 2, former light heavyweight champion Yuri Prochazka against Alexander Rakic, who's ranked number 5. Prochazka is actually a plus 110 underdog, where they have Rakic at a minus 130 favorite. Definitely, I think Alexander Rakic has the power advantage. Yuri is more unorthodox and I would say much harder to train for someone like him. So I'm going with Yuri Prochazka to get his hand raised. All right, and kicking off UFC 300, we have Bo Nickel against Cody Brundage. This is a middleweight bout, and the odds makers are making this to be a completely lopsided fight. Bo Nickel is the biggest favorite on the card at a minus 1350. Yes, 1,350 against Cody Brundage, who is a plus 800 underdog. Of course, they're building Bo Nickel up because he is still green in MMA. He was a phenomenal wrestler, and his jiu-jitsu is, top notch as well. He's only had 5 fights. He's 5-0 in MMA, but they're all finishes, and they're all first round finishes. Whereas Cody Brundage, he's 10-5, but he has 6 first round finishes with, I believe, 7 or 8 finishes total. So will it end in the first round? I think it might. I am going to go with the odds makers, and I'm going to go with Bo Nickel to win. All right, the next fight of the night is a lightweight bout. Charles Oliveira, he's taking on Arman Tsarukyan, who's ranked number 4. And this is an exciting bout that everyone's looking forward to. Arman, he made his debut in 2019 against current champion Islam Makhachev, and it went the distance. Arman is really well-rounded. He's a powerhouse. He believes he's going to be the next champion, and he believes he can beat Islam because he did fight him 5 years ago. But Charles Oliveira, we've seen the rise of him. I feel that he's one of the best jiu-jitsu practitioners in the UFC, and his striking is phenomenal as well. And I feel like he is hungry. He's hungry to become a champion again and get his title back. He goes out there and continues to just amaze the fans and the fighters how good he is, and he's so damn technical. I'm looking forward to this one, but I'm going with the former champion. I'm going with Charles Oliveira to get his hand raised. The next fight in the lightweight division, it's for the BMF title. We have BMF champion Justin Gaethje, who's ranked number 2 in the lightweight division. He's fighting former featherweight champion, who's ranked number 2 in my division, Max Holloway. We have Gaethje at a minus 238 favorite, and Max Holloway is at a plus 195 underdog. Justin Gaethje is going to come right in there. He's going to be right in your face with leg kicks and big old punches. He also has one of the smartest masterminds and coaches in his corner, Trevor Whitman. So they're going to come together with a phenomenal game plan. And I feel like over these last few fights that Gaethje's had, he's really come into himself and actually been more methodical about his fighting, instead of just going out there and just seeing who can hit harder and who can take more damage and keep coming forward. So I think that's going to play a factor. But Max Holloway, he's an all-time great. So I feel like if Max can use his footwork and kind of, working his whole MMA game, I think if Max wins, he wins by decision. I wouldn't be surprised if Gaethje can go out there and get a spectacular knockout or hurt Max and finish him. But again, Max has never been dropped. He's never been knocked out. He has a solid chin on him. So it's just such a tough fight to pick. But if I had to bet, I'm going with Justin Gaethje to win. In the co-main event, this is for the women's strawweight title. We have current champion Weili Zhang. She's taking on the number 1 contender, Yan Xiaonan. My teammate, this is also for the bragging rights in China. Man, this is an exciting matchup. I'm super pumped for Yan. She's been in the gym so long, and just like she looks great. For some, inside information, I feel that Yan is much more powerful than Zhang, and so I'm hoping she can, catch her on the feet or hurt her, and pounce on her and kind of put her away. She's also been working on her jiu-jitsu and wrestling so religiously, and she looks great. Whereas Zhang is a champion for a reason, so I feel that her keys to victory are also going to be her speed, the way she mixes up her striking to her takedowns, and then her transitions on the ground have looked so good over the past few fights, and she continues to get better and better. So, man, this is a tough one, but I have to go with my teammate to become the new strawweight champion of the world, and I'm putting my money on Yan. And in the main event for UFC 300, this is for the light heavyweight title. We have current champion Alex Pereira. He's a minus 155 favorite, taking on the number 1 contender, former light heavyweight champion, Jamal Hill. I feel that Jamal is so motivated for this fight because he's had a long layoff. He had to vacate his title because he had to go through through a surgery. Even though Alex Pereira is a large fighter, he's a huge middleweight, and now he's fighting up at light heavyweight. You know, he's such a well-decorated kickboxer, and he's been working on his wrestling and jiu-jitsu, but he's known for his striking. This is going to be a violent fight in my opinion, but I think Jamal's going to go out there and shock the world. I think a lot of people are counting him out, and he's fast and he's powerful as hell. I think he goes out there and knocks Alex Pereira out. I do not think this fight goes to the scorecards. All right, now I'm going to go into my underdog pick of the card. Man, I'm going with Holly Holm. She's one of the biggest underdogs on the entire card. She's a former champion. She was a world champion in boxing as well. Such a veteran of the sport. She's fighting Kayla Harrison, who is really well-rounded, but she's making her UFC debut. So I'm going with Holly Holm to win. And my KO pick of the card, someone that's most likely to get a knockout in their fight, I'm going with Jamal Hill. And I think Jamal's going to go out there, and I think he's going to kind of, shock the world. All right, thanks again for watching, you guys. These are my predictions for UFC 300, the biggest card to date. What do you guys think about my picks? Comment below. What are your guys' predictions? Who do you guys got in these fights? If you guys are in the Sacramento area, you have to come up on Saturday to Knee Deep Brewery in Auburn, California. We're doing my release party for my One Punch IPA. I'm doing a meet and greet as well as watching UFC 300. If you guys can't make it for the entire card, come up at 4 o'clock, pick up a case to take back home to enjoy the fights with.